Hey guys, Sarge here with the December 11th turn on our 3v3 War in the Pacific series. I'm here with Green. He is playing as the US player. Say hello, Green.
Hello, 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 everyone.
So I'll be
It's a
doing my
it's a
turn
pleasure.
and going over the stats, and we'll just be talking about the strategic situation in total, about what he's doing over in the Hawaii area. So let's go to intelligence reports. So air-to-air losses, the Japanese lost 27 planes and we lost 6. They had 10 ops losses to our 4. They lost 25 Bettys, 5 Nells. We lost 5 Buffaloes. They lost 4 Babs, 3 Oscars, 2 Zeros. Then we lost some Catalinas and Lodestars. Any ships sunk last turn? Yep, we lost those
Oh,
4
a
those
lot.
4 APs. those misplaced APs. Alright. Then we are moving an AVD for myself from the Philippines. Green is sending one over to me. And then we are getting some more ASW in this area between Borneo, Java, and Sumatra. Just trying to quell his all of their submarines. All right. Well, keep putting that in the wrong spot. So what's your plan, Green? What are you up to?
Yeah, so I will start with the Eastern US. You can if you want to do your turn at the same time, so you don't have to show the Eastern US while I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm
Feel
just
free.
doing it that way, so it's not
Yeah, so
silent while I'm
you
doing
just do
mine.
your turn. Exactly, just do your turn. I'll be rambling. So basically, what I'm trying to do, obviously, I sent a lot of squads to the Eastern US. So they train. I'm usually training, obviously, fighters for escorts. I'm training bombers. I have two purposes for bombers. Lighter bombers, I'm training them either for ground attack or naval attack, such as Marauders or, well, I don't have any Mitchells yet, I believe, but those will also fit in that description. And big level bombers, I am probably gonna make them train airfield attacks. I have sent a lot of Catalinas to Los Angeles and San Francisco. Basically, obviously, the idea is send them to Pearl Harbor, from Pearl Harbor to the all the islands around which need them and don't have them yet. If I can name one, I would probably start with Canton Island and probably Christmas Island. Those two are very important for my supply chain. Those two will be the Central Pacific ports, let's put it. I decided to use those two. Mm, some might see it as a very aggressive or very forward-based selection, since they're very close to the Marshalls. But I believe it should work. Well, it worked in my PBM when I played 1v1. And basically, Christmas Island will be the base that all the tankers and all the supply from the east or from the west coast will go to, probably unload, go back, and then transferred from there will go to Numia. Staying up with the West US, I'm preparing some troop transports that I will send. Probably there's either, I don't know yet, I haven't decided yet. Either I send them to Pearl Harbor, and from there I divide them, or I send them straight to through Christmas, which will have probably I will install Oilers in there instantly to Numia. Now I'm thinking of sending some Marine regiments, the Amphibious Corps, some base forces, etc., etc., to really quickly start sending stuff to Numia if the Japanese players decide to get really aggressive. So for the most part, that is very shortly covered when it comes to the west coast. I am repairing the two battleships in Seattle. I will send them probably to Pearl And now, since I already mentioned that, let's go to Pearl. So, as you probably already know from previous videos, Pearl hasn't been hit very harshly. Um, Example, the USS Nevada is gonna stay in shipyard for 3 more days, and then it's fully operational, since I believe it only received a bomb or hit or something. So I am planning to make some sort of a battleship task force, something which will move to Numia and hopefully assist either in defending Port Moresby. So do Port Moresby dashes if they try to naval invade it, or defend Bougainville or Luganville rather, and Numia. Obviously, I will have to first get some fighters there, because it's not good to have those slow battleships engage with the enemy planes. But it's a potential. I think that's what I'll do though, because honestly, there's nothing else I can do with them apart from doing that. I am not sending anything out of Pearl Harbor yet when it comes to logistics, when it comes to transport, for a very simple reason. The reason is Pearl Harbor is obviously flooded with submarines. There's countless submarines in the waters around. I have fortunately not lost any unit around it yet. No, sorry, I lost the destroyer which was doing ASW. It tilted me a little bit, but yes, I'm working extensively on ASW, around 10 destroyers. Well, not 10. I'm being a bit over optimistic, but let's say 6 destroyers are swimming and then looking for submarines and hopefully trying to eradicate the problem, which obviously probably won't happen until April when we get radar and better ASW equipment. Now, probably in around a week, I will start sending stuff from Pearl Harbor. Priorities are supplies and a little bit of fuel to Midway to establish a quick submarine base in there before I can think of some other submarine bases. And obviously logistics to Christmas and Canton Island to arm those, to send supply, to build them up, and then honestly the rest of the game will be probably moving units from Pearl Harbor to through Christmas Island to Numia. So that's really broadly speaking about Pearl Harbor. Um, I will also later in the game manage Numia, all the Hebrides, and the Solomon Islands, which I don't do yet because there's nothing to manage in there. I can quickly go over my plans for that. Although honestly, when it comes to plans, I think I'll wait for Sarge to finish his turn so we can kind of discuss on that.
Yeah, I didn't really have too much for this turn. It's mostly just refining and moving some planes around.
Yeah, I mean, every
Not
turn
really
is the
much.
same thing. Yeah, it's alright. Just let me know when you finish so I can stop rumbling while I talk to your audience. So just to give Sarge a bit more time, let's talk about the Philippines because that's also my theater of war.
Oh, you should talk
Um,
about that plan that you had that you totally didn't tell the Japanese players.
oh, yeah, that was very fun. I actually discussed it in the 3v3 channel, so and I was advised how to act. So basically, my plan, as you all know, because I already discussed that with a couple of you, was to, since San Fernando wasn't very well defended, it had a one Marine regiment, and everything else was construction regiments, artillery, and a HQ. At first, I wanted to go to our channel and say, "Guys, I'll attack," but then I realized it was the wrong channel. It was a 3v3 group chat with everyone. So obviously they noticed that. Um, we
But
tried to
then we just started
swiftly,
saying
yeah,
random
swiftly,
bullshit.
exactly. We swiftly changed topic and just doing some random bullshit, like 4Z swimming and getting into Vladivostok and the bombing of this, bombing of that. I don't know what. In the end, obviously, I didn't do it because it's a Philippine unit. It's probably not worth it. Most of my planes in Philippines for this turn will be stood down because they have taken, but most are damaged. They need to repair. There's only one wing of P-35s which will go up in the sky. They will probably there will be losses, obviously, unless they mismanage their planes again. But well,
That
it's
that's
probably
that's
my
hopeful that they
that's
like to
hopeful.
mismanage
I
them.
do hope. I do hope that, but
Yeah, like
uh,
in general, like we really haven't been hit that hard.
no, I really, honestly, I think this campaign, looking at the previous we started, I think this one's going better than the previous one.
I mean, apart from me not getting my Muri Gambit win,
Yes, yes. Well,
of course, not getting
but
my.
on the other hand, you have for Z now, so you can make an even bigger gambit.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Uh,
Like, yep.
yes. But in general, I feel we're really doing better now than the previous one. Since in the previous one, they at least kind of, the starting moves were dedicated by the game historical quote unquote accuracy, which was somehow planned, and I feel that their plans are very chaotic now in this game.
Yeah, because they have
I don't
to.
know if
They're
it's
making their own plans.
yes, I don't know if it's just me or not, but I really feel they're super chaotic now. That they're doing. I don't know. I just feel that they planned a lot of stuff, but I feel like a lot of stuff in those plans they planned or came up with don't connect. So, for example, as I mentioned, San Fernando, they landed in San Fernando. They landed in three hexes next to each other: San Fernando, Vigan, and Laoag. And it looks like most of the units, like real army units, landed in the north, while most of the backline units landed in the south, exactly where my troops are, which looks like mismanagement. Um, I'm not sure, honestly. They're also very, very active in east of Malaya. They have landed in Kuantan, in Cotabaru, and we have received intelligence reports they will also land in Merzing and are already heading for it.
Yeah, speaking of that,
Uh,
I'll show the SIGINT reports for them as
yes,
well.
yes, the report is pretty clear. There's a Gozan cargo class AK moving to, oh no, that's San Fernando, sorry. There's a Japanese AK moving to Merzing, loaded with the Tanaka detachment.
And wherever 122,82 is, there's a lot of radio transmission coming from there.
Yes, so unfortunately we don't know where are they moving from, so we don't know when to expect them. Fortunately, all the flying boats are patrolling the sea, so we will probably see them coming in advance, in a couple days advance. Furthermore, it's two hexes from Singapore, so the buffed, the Force Xeon steroids can make a fast job
Oh
and
yeah,
get them. And I think this might be a big success for us if they land, especially without big battleship coverage.
I
Then we
guess I
can
can
make them super
finally
fast.
show you guys my plan. So the plan is to just make 4C a wrecking ball. I'm got I've consolidated the light cruisers that I had elsewhere. I brought all the destroyers I had. That I'm also bringing in. Where is it? Right here. These two light heavy cruisers and three more light cruisers into this, and we're gonna make this a wrecking ball. We're gonna have so much firepower. It won't be able to take on, let's say, this battleship force that's reportedly sighted, but it'll be able to take on most of what they throw at us.
Yeah, and especially another thing, if they land in Merzeng and they use battleships as escorts for their task force, the admiral of that task force will obviously have to have, at the back of his head that he's protecting escorts. So obviously he might disengage earlier. He might decide to abandon the the amphibious assault, etc., etc. So I'm not sure how they will play it, but especially with fast attack, especially at night, because we have radar, or you have radar on your ships, on Prince of Wales and Repulse, I think. Hopefully, I can actually check. And they don't. Which, well, Prince of Wales has one, and Repulse probably should have one as well. Yes, he does, or she does. So this should be. Oh, and even your sea islands have it. Perfect. So if you manage to catch them at night on Merzeng, it should be an absolute bloody massacre. Unless you get some torpedoes in the face. But Singapore is just next to you, so you can always repair. But just so you can finish your turn, you'll keep talking about the Philippines. So just to finish up the Philippines, unfortunately, most of my air force is down to maintenance issues. Most of my B-17s are repairing. I would say 90% of them are. Because if I do quick maths now, that's 32 are repairing and 3 are ready. So that's at least 90% are repairing. Um, the problem with P40s is that I have one big wing that is still available for service with 17 ready ones, but the pilots are fatigued. So they will have to stand down and the P35s will have to replace them. I'm doing my best when it comes to Philippines and the air. I will try to. I know I'm not gonna try to lie to myself that those planes will survive. They will die. They will all die. All get shot down. There's no question to that. The question is how much damage I can do in return, and this is what I will try to maximize. I will try to destroy as many bombers, if possible, but the goal is not even the planes, it's the pilots. If I can get as many of those experienced pilots down, that is the main objective. So that's about the Philippines. Let's talk about the fleet movement around the Philippines. If we look at Tarakan, Tarakan isn't already in Shaggy's territory, but that's where I have my far western squadron. The far west squadron consisting of USS Houston, USS Boys, Marblehead, and 4 destroyers. They're stationed in Tarakan and they will remain there. And then I will basically use them as a raiding force. If I see them getting a bit too jabby, a bit too brave with some transport force, I will rush out, try to kill it, come back, and hopefully lose or not lose any ships. I will have to be really careful of aircraft carriers. There is an aircraft carrier force just east of Davao. It's a really small one with, I believe, 1 CVL. So it's really honestly, I could probably even rush it, and the CVL wouldn't be able to run away from my CAs. Obviously, for obviously reasons, I will not do it. But it's a really small one. Kirobutai is just south of Midway. So now I can speak about the most important thing that will happen this turn. All right, there's two things, two plans. One, I don't know if I'll manage to get there in time. But Wake Island hasn't been attacked yet. I am anticipating the Wake attack will happen by, well, in 1 or 2 days, so the Wildcats are ready on naval attack. But I am sending submarines from Pearl Harbor to Wake with mines. Now, hopefully, they will get there in time and mine Wake before they attack. If not, we can mine it anyway. So that's just the idea. And the rest will probably the rest of the submarines, because I'm sending 4 more, will probably transport supply to Wake. Because my hope is just like we did it last game, where they landed in Wake and performed an attack, and the attack completely failed. And I hope we get it this time as well. If it happens, I will need to have as much of that supply going to Wake, and that's why I'm already going to start sending some submarines. Now, the most important thing, I have one of my aircraft carrier task forces, and I will say it, hopefully no Japanese players around, just couple hexes from east from Tarawa. They are going north. They're going northwest. The attempt is to hit some potential amphibious landing forces around that can target Ocean Island, Nauru Island, or Tarawa. If not, they should be in range of Kuala Lane, and they should be able to perform a port attack. Now, I'm not scared of their CVs. I know where Kidobutai is. There's no way they get there. I don't think they can even see me yet. But the plan is I strike, I hopefully destroy as many ships as I can, and then I run south. That is the idea. Hopefully, the real goal, as I said, is not even warships, because there's probably none around, I think.
I mean,
But
what's also great about what they're doing is for some reason they're just bombing shitty base forces instead of trying to
true,
whittle
yeah.
down proper troops.
Yeah, so I'll just finish real quick on the carrier. So the goal is obviously landing forces, killing those transports, those soldiers on them. Hopefully with escorts if there are any, and just small jab, running away, probably to Christmas Island, to avoid all the submarines and then to Pearl Harbor. So I'm finished with my stuff. Are you done with yours?
Yeah, I'm just yeah, I'm basically done. I'm just
All right,
setting up
let's
some like two
yeah,
more
some units.
ASW task forces and then I'm done.
Yeah, that's good. So you can just start to like slowly analyze what the plans are. I would love to hear your plans in like China, because I feel that there's some heat coming in China. I have no idea what's happening. Uh,
I
and
I was surprised that they charged out of Ichang with the armor.
mhm.
They I don't they also have a they're also moving, I noticed, the rest of their
Yeah, forces
the rest of
east
their
into
forces
Rangoon.
that are east into Ichang as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So that will be I'm gonna say I just I'll do in the turn I set it to bomb them. So hopefully it'll at least slow them down enough for my other troops. I did get another division into Ichang, but like we had discussed in the 3v3 allies chat, they're
Mhm.
quite fatigued, which is my issue.
Yeah.
So hopefully like give it another turn. I don't think that those 10 units should be able to get into Ichang
Hopefully not.
before I can take it.
Yes, because if we can take Ichang or Ichang, it would be perfect. Because not only we surround and probably completely destroy their tanks because they will be out of supply, and there's no way they can cross the river with tanks without losing at least a huge part of them. So that would be at least a tank unit destroyed, which is huge in China because I don't think you have any AT guns around.
Oh yeah, I have
Maybe.
no AT like but nothing. Like we got sticks over here.
You do have some 37 millimeter AT on the unit south of it in Changte, but yeah, let's see. Well, your units do kind of have AT,
Yeah, well,
not
they
much
have it,
of
but
it.
it isn't not effective in this.
Yeah, but it's not very effective. What about these guys? Yeah, not much. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably
so
not that good.
I did decide to and divert the troops that were west of Aichang down
Mhm.
to go into that fight
Okay.
because like I don't think he's getting those guys out, honestly. Like sure, it's
Would be good if
temporarily
you didn't.
cut off some supply, but I'm not worried, honestly. Like I'll get Aichang. He's not gonna hold it.
That would be good. What after Ichang? What if you get Ichang? What's your plan after that?
I'm really just gonna be on the defensive. I'm just gonna form city strongholds.
Mhm.
Not really much else you can do in China, especially in the early game when you don't have the force to be able to push.
Yeah, that makes
Like
sense.
Aichang is like the one of the only spots you can actually go on the offensive
Yeah.
early on, and that's just because you start with overwhelming force around it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense actually.
But that also is dependent on me keeping supply into Rangoon,
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
keeping the road open.
Yeah. So for now, it looks like, well, obviously they're not in that moment of the game yet to be pushing into Rangoon. But Rangoon will partially depend on Singapore because I feel that a lot of those units from Singapore might go to Rangoon later on. So obviously it's beneficial for Singapore to survive as long as possible.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
I'm not. I already got my first few troops that got into Singapore. I'm gonna build this. This is gonna be a fortress.
that yeah,
Though
that's
it's certainly taking its time building up the forts.
oh yeah, yeah, obviously. But you should have honestly, depending how well Merzing amphibious attack on their side will go, I'm giving you at least 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks before they can even approach Singapore.
Yeah, I don't
So
think they'd even want to anyway, until they get their forces concentrated.
yeah, exactly. So
It'd
you
be
have at least
foolish to attack without superior.
yeah, or at least even like get to the city itself, right?
Yeah,
So I think you have at least over a month for that.
and I did look. I
Um,
should be able to combine a division, like get a full division.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the 11th Indian Division. I'll be able to combine together to make into one. I
Yeah,
think that's the
pretty
division.
that'll be pretty good, especially that one thing which you have to remember is that well this start is their own. They planned it. It's not the game start. So I would not be
Yeah.
surprised if in the end they get to Singapore and they noticed that they didn't send enough troops, and there's no way they take Singapore. And the siege of Singapore will be taking way longer than they thought, because they decided to send some troops to Borneo or to Philippines or whatever, right? So I will really not be surprised if at some point they notice that, ooh, maybe we should have sent more troops here or there.
I mean, in
Um,
the end, they could just wait it out because like
yeah,
they could just blockade it by sea, and I wouldn't be able to get
yeah,
any supply in.
of course. But at some point, Singapore is a very useful base for them anyway. Like it's not like Bataan where you get Manila and you're kind of done. Like Bataan can be there and starve.
Yeah.
Singapore is the base you want. Like this is what they want. This is what they need because of the industry, of the shipyard, and because it's a huge base.
So
So
are
so
you like
obviously,
moving stuff to Clark, or are you kind of doing a fighting retreat?
for now I am no. For now, I'm moving stuff to Clark. I'm not going any north. I'm not going to Lingayen. Lingayen will build up some forts, so it's another roadblock. San Fernando is sitting there as a roadblock. And in the end, my plan is just to build up Clark, Bataan, and Manila. But I feel that, well, I don't know yet, since it's only 11 December, but it looks like they will only assault from the north. While in a normal scenario, they assault from the north, northeast, and southeast, which makes me have to split forces between Clark and Manila to defend optimally. Now, there's a high chance I won't have to, and I will have most of my units in Clark, which will obviously will make the defense even simpler. But obviously at the same time I'm building at Manila, Clark, Bataan, so I just want to be ready, and probably most of my submarines, which I'm sending out for now, but the
Uh,
oceanic submarines I will probably eventually start sending them to like some supply bases and just use them as transports because they're not very good.
yeah, I see all the
Yeah.
of the hurricane of submarines around Formosa.
Yeah, that there's a lot of them. They're going to Japan, but honestly, they're not very good at what they're designed for because of the
Yeah,
torpedo.
the
That's
Mark
why
14s.
the Mark 13s, yes, the glorious. Oh yes. Well, thank you, Bureau of Ordnance. But anyway, yeah, I will probably use them as transports later on to send as much stuff to Manila. Now, mentioning stuff to Manila, or I am already loading a task force in Tarakan. I'm loading them up with supplies, and they will try to rush to Manila to unload as much as possible. Same thing I will do with Balikpapan. There's a force going to Balikpapan as well, and yeah, I'm gonna try to let's say send as many of those borderline useless cheap small AKLs and try to get as much supply as possible to Manila. And when it's really useless, when it's really pointless at some point because they get all the bases around, I'll just probably start doing it with submarines. So that's the idea around it.
Yeah. I've also got a large supply convoy that will be going to Perth to help to get the supply moving from Cape Town to Perth.
Yeah, that's good. So Shaggy will stop shouting at me for doing to do big logistics from the west coast to Australia.
Just looking here. Why isn't this set to move? I swear I set these things to move and the orders to move just get deleted or something. Yeah, I'm happy that he's bombing stuff that's not useful to me anyway.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the stuff he's bombing is stuff that I was gonna lose anyway on the ground, or just like or wouldn't play a factor in the fighting anyway. Like
yeah,
if he wants to do that instead of trying to bomb out my strong points elsewhere or just try and prevent me from building up strong points, then I don't care. They they can bomb that base force at Victoria Point all they want. That thing is useless to me. I am done with my turn. I don't think there's really much else to go over, especially with Shaggy not being here. I may do with Shaggy in a few episodes, but he is in Russia, so the time zone may be a bit of an issue. And he doesn't speak too well English, which could be also an issue.
And that's it. And don't really attack with bombers.
One thing Shaggy does do well is name his task forces to what it's actually doing.
Oh yeah,
I don't.
that's true.
I think I've named one task force.
I only name the more important ones, like so I don't forget what they do, and obviously convoys, so I also
Yeah,
know what they do. But the stuff like sending, I don't know, a couple AKLs and shit. So yeah, there's the one going to Balikpapan, for example, without a name. Yeah, might as well change the name as Manila Supply.
I am surprised he's keeping his carriers where he is.
The Japanese.
Yeah, they're just sitting around Midway still.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're proceeding west. They just bombed the Midway, I believe,
Yeah,
this turn.
they didn't really do much.
No, they didn't do anything. Because half the Catalinas were in the air when they did it, and I guess the other half was hidden or something. I don't know. They didn't hit anything.
Yeah, I think they hit.
Which
They like, did like superficial damage to the base and got one Catalina.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, there you go. So I'm happy, and hopefully they'll proceed west. If I see them going super fast south, I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna be very scared because that's where one of my carriers is. But hopefully they won't notice. And yeah, I guess that's about it when it comes to my. There's some marines around Wake and stuff, but I mean, there's not much to talk about that because they won't do anything anyway.
Yeah, as long as we can limit their submarine action, they haven't really done anything that pops out as, oh crap, this is going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Their starting was weaker than it was on them doing nothing with the
Oh,
historical
definitely,
start.
definitely. No, you see, I was expecting a big bombing of like Manila.
Yeah, that's
Half
what I
my
thought they
submarines
were
gone.
going
Yeah,
to
I was
do as
prepared
well.
to lose half my submarines, half of them, all of the best, all the S boats. I was prepared. In the end, they did even less than they did in real life because I don't think they even bombed the airfields, or they did and didn't do anything while doing so.
Yeah, well, we
Um,
also don't know about the Japanese channel in fighting that we definitely know is going on.
oh yeah, that too. That I don't know if their chemistry team is all fine and stuff. Ours isn't perfect either, but at least we agree when it comes to the game, or at least agree to disagree, or at least not
Yeah,
speak
I
out on
know
each
it.
other.
I know Invictus, who's one of the Japanese players, he really wanted to bomb Manila. I think someone may have talked him out of it though.
I sincerely thank the person who talked him out of it. I will buy him flowers when my armies will march into Tokyo. I will. He will be, and he will have a front seat on the victory parade.
Oh yeah, our banter in the 3v3 chat that all the players are in has gotten to the point where the Japanese have petitioned us to stop because they
I
can't
don't think
take jokes.
they can't take it. I mean, Japanese. Not all players, because there's one of them who banters
Oh
with
yeah,
us.
one's chill. The American is chill. It's the other two.
But no, but that's all right. We respect that. We don't banter anymore.
Not naming
Uh,
nationalities.
yes, we respect that decision. They want to be professional. We will be professional. And yeah, I hope we sink the first Japanese ship this turn because we haven't sank any yet. We hope we don't lose
No,
Any
I'm
more
pretty sure we
APs?
have.
Oh, maybe. Well, intelligence
I'm
doesn't
pretty
say.
sure I've heard
You sh
that
you
gurgle.
sure you sure it wasn't the last game we played?
No, I thought it was
I
the
think it
last
was.
turn.
Oh, I don't know then. Well, anyway, I hope we don't lose any more APs.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and
I
unfortunately, I
I th
think we will, cause even though there's a big battleship force heading for Kuching, Shaggy either didn't notice or, well, I don't know. Maybe APs are some new secret weapon that can deal with battleships. I don't know. We will see.
All
We'll
right.
see next turn.
To prevent us from rambling to death, I think I'm gonna end it here, guys. We should be
Yes, that
getting
would be a good idea.
the combat replay either probably tomorrow morning, and I'll probably do a video on it that night. So I'm gonna end it here, guys. I'll see you in the next one.